how would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Suzanne, which is a mom, an entrepreneur, a life coach, and an author, right? So Suzanne, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Harry, I love that question. First off, I think it's important to choose a business around, utilizing your resources. So in my case, I had some real estate. Some of it came to me through, my parents dying. They're no longer living, so I inherited some stuff, and how I managed that. So I think it's really important for everybody to look at what are your strengths. What are the things that you do well, and focus on those? Secondly, to me, my intuition, it kind of guided me along the way. Like, you can get tons of resources in everywhere you go, but you have to be able to somehow make good choices around those. And, research is obviously important, but for me, once you collect a resource, it's your intuition that guides you. The gut that tells you where to go. Number 3 is because I come from a very spiritual background, Harry. So sometimes I'm like, I have to pinch myself and say, how did I do this? Because I inherited some money when I was 47 and I tripled it. Most people lose it all. So I made my first million really after I inherited that. And I used my resources like real estate. You have to trust in the process, which is similar to intuition, but has a little bit of a, have faith in what's going on. And so, and make sure that you scale your business appropriately. Like, it's super important to have some scale that you can, manage. Can I just share a little story with you?
Absolutely. After we finish 5 steps, we do all the stories.
I'll say my 5th is a great team. Find them and keep them. But anyway, I published a book on 11/11 last year. It's called A Woman on
11/11.
Yeah. Well, it's in my book. I have a strong thing for the number 11s. I pay very close attention to what's going on when the clock says 11/11 or I see something, I'm like, what does this mean? So this book is called A Woman on Top, My Journey of Self-Discovery Through Love and Money. So I barely acknowledged myself for the publication of the book, and I'm not at the top of the Amazon list at the moment, but I have been in kind of weird categories like, dating and mate seeking, whatever mate seeking means, I'm not really sure. But anyway, so I hired somebody to teach me how to speak and help get me on a TEDx stage. I'm still waiting for the perfect stage to come up. Hasn't quite appeared yet, but that's in the workings. But then I was like, I want to become a speaker. I want to become a coach. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be in magazines. I write articles. And so I was like, HuffPost is going to love my article about empty nesting because it tells you the pros and the cons. Do you have children, Harry?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. So you won't know about this until you do, but they go away and you're like, oh, it's so sad. And then they come back. Yeah. They're not going. Anyway, so I had dropped so much money until around October into trying to make all these things happen, and nothing was happening. Like, it wasn't, I was putting all this energy and work into it. And I said, enough's enough. So I let go of, I have 2 girls, one that just works for me really a little bit, and then one that's helping me to build my social media platform. I guess I would put that on as a 6th, is your social media. I'm not crazy about social media. I don't want to do social media, but if you have a strong following, you can really make your point well known. People look at you and they're like, what's she doing? I'd like to be part of her gang. So anyway, I stopped it all. And I had this weird intuitive feeling that by me doing what was right for me because I don't have a lot of life left. And I was like, do I really want to be a coach or a speaker? If somebody asked me to speak, I'm all about it. If somebody asked me to coach, I'm all about it. But I'm no longer going out and seeking that thing. And I think by me making a really good decision to scale back what I was doing, that something magic is going to happen. I can feel the alignment in my body around what I'm doing and how I'm trying to do it. Because I'm really just here just to show by my story, which is very raw and vulnerable, and a super good read. I invite women to and men, honestly, to talk about their problems that are maybe. I have a very good way of seeing things from a higher perspective to helping them. So that's what I'm on the planet to spend the rest of my life doing. And with my 3 kids and my brand new grandbaby as of 8 days ago.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yay.
See, life is bright. And I think that we find this path, Suzanne, with all of us that we have built businesses. You see, it happened to me that my first business was with property, yeah, and I wanted to make $1 million, yeah, and guess what happened after I make the $1 million? I don't even notice. It become worse. It become worse. I was not fulfilled. I realized after 10 years and sold over 5 million that I didn't like this business. I was doing it declared for the money. So I have to look back into who I really, what do I really keep me fulfilled, yeah, and what I can find the joy that when I'm doing things, I don't feel that they're working because money is one thing, but the fulfillment journey is when you have to discover yourself and find your passion, yeah. And I get it, everything that you just say, become a speaker and a coach. This is something that I love, yeah. But I love more than being on the stage, which I really do. Yeah, I train people how to speak. And you said that you never you haven't found the greatest stage yet. I can provide this for you very easy because I do this all over the world. So you see, the problem for someone is not a problem for somebody else. So, but the point is that we have to work on ourselves, right? Because the more you work on ourselves, we're gonna find what we really want to do. Yeah, and you don't have to be like Harry or like the coach or like the speaker. What keeps you alive? And I think that writing this book that you did, yeah, to empower women, right? So they can read this book and they can feel related, the challenges that you're going through. Let me tell you something, yeah. This thing that happened to you, that you inherited the money, it doesn't sound as easy because what you did, you took it and you tripled it. When everybody, what it does, you know what they do? They take this money, they go on holiday, they take drugs, they lost themselves, and after years, you heard that they died. Yeah. That's people that inherit a lot of money. What happens? So you embrace it, and you said, "I'm gonna triple this," which is a big responsibility because, as you share with me, you have children, and you do have to take risks. And now your parents are not around anymore. And what happens if you lose it all? What's gonna happen? It's gonna be you the responsible to leave your kid with nothing. So you're battling: shall I touch it? Shall I not touch it? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? So it was very brave what you did. You took a big risk, yeah. And now by trying to triple this money in real estate, I done real estate. Real estate is beautiful, it's amazing. But if you make a mistake, you lose a lot of money, and it's inevitable that you're gonna make a mistake.
Right.
It's if it's
That's
not
for
early
sure.
in the beginning, it's in the middle, at some point in the journey. And when you take a hit, real estate is expensive. It's not like
Yes.
any other business, and you have to learn the lessons the hard way. And sometimes 50, 60,000, $150,000 mistake. If I tell you a story, I will depress you. So you went through that challenge, and you managed to come out on the other side, and you managed to triple that. But now is that journey, right? What can we really want to do to be a contribution to other people, to something that give us fulfillment? I started, I do conference and talks all over the world, and sometime in London, in the metro, the people are stopping me. Harry, is that you, man? I saw you on the stage. Look, you say this is my family. You changed my life, man. I'm just so embarrassing. Everybody looking at me. It's happened to me. And I'm even in London, it's right, when I'm walking, people, Harry, they say hello. I'm saying hello. I don't even know who's that person. But when you arrive home, you say, wow, it's incredible. I say something that I say that I don't even remember what it was, actually make a difference in some people's life. I think the fulfillment lies there in what can we do to be a contribution to us. And your path started with this book, and
Yeah.
and it will come to you. I think of forcing an outcome. Yeah, we all been there. We want sales, we want to grow the business, but sometimes when we are in that energy that we want to force an outcome, yeah, is it's a lot resistant to it. Yeah. But if you are in your energy flow, like you show up to this podcast, really calm, and you put it on the space who you are and what have you done, it will come to you in a different way. It's gonna come to you easy. You actually would attract the people that actually love you for who you are, and give you the opportunities that you deserve. So I know that it's uncomfortable, right? That we want to do. We want to find our way to be a contribution to society, because it's normal of the cycle of an entrepreneur. And then we're a little bit lost in this, but it takes time. It takes time to find out how this is gonna show up, right? But
You have so many interesting points here.
go ahead.
So one, yes, I mean, I look at myself as if I won the lottery. And I am considered to be the worst human being on the planet because was given to me. Oh boy, if you grew up in my family, you would say that there was a lot of work to end up where I ended up.
I don't think that you won any lottery, yeah? I think yeah.
Right. And my father was very successful, but he got Alzheimer's, lost a lot of his money, gave $1.8 million to a Nigerian, hoping he was going to bring James was going to bring 36 million in unmarked bills back to the US for him. I don't know. It was crazy. But anyway, so there's a lot of responsibility with which you touched on of if you have the money, of being able to be a good steward for that money and being able to leave for your children.
Huge.
And there's a lot of guilt and shame that I experienced from being the chosen one. So I had all those experiences many of the experiences that lottery winners.
Maybe you have been the chosen one. Maybe your parents choose you for a reason, because they know that you can handle it. Because
no question. Yeah, I think it's really important, Harry, for everyone to remember that money is not, you said it. I'm just repeating what you said in a different way, which is in my book, is that everybody thinks, go ask anybody you know, anybody that's listening to this, and ask them what they're going to do if they win the lottery. And they're all going to have answers. And I'm here to tell you that with winning the lottery comes a lot of, challenges. You don't know who your friends are. I dated many men who were just lovely, but they weren't there for me. I mean, there for the money. And
if you check the statistics, you will find out that a really high percentage of people that win the lottery, after 3 to 5 years, they lose it out, because the finance worse, they end up in debt, because if you don't have the finance literacy and the ability to be sensible and invest this money effectively, it can be all gone really easy. You can hardly, there are people that say, okay, I inherited this money, I don't deserve it, so I don't want to know about it. I want my accountant to handle it. Then, one out of a blink of the eye, the accountant is gone with
Uh,
the money. And so you embrace it. You say, okay, I have it. I have children. So in the same way that I'm gonna embrace it and I'm gonna multiply it, which is a huge responsibility. You took a huge take. So I don't think that you should see yourself as a winning lottery. I think that you should see yourself as a very brave woman that took the money and actually make it work. Do you know how many people I know that they find funding millions of dollars and they waste it all and
yeah.
money from investors? So having the money, it doesn't mean, and it's even worse because I started from zero. So I'm making, my family, they are no entrepreneurs. So I have to learn by, I invest the property, then, but I'm making mistakes down the line, but because I have little money, I lost little money when I was lending, right? So when the company grew, yeah, and I already was selling millions, I already knew a lot because I lost little money. So, but when you dealing with the big ticket, like we shared before the broadcast, you will make, if you're in real estate, for sure you're gonna make mistakes. There's no
Right.
way that everything's
Well,
perfect. And
yeah,
a mistake in real estate is, that's what nobody talks about. Yeah, is minimum 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, half a million, just a tiny mistake, just a miscalculation, just to trust someone that you thought that that was amazing. Just one tiny thing, and you take a hit with a lot of money.
yeah.
So this is the first thing, and actually, this story could be very good to empower other women because I think that people, Suzanne, are very our surroundings, yeah, are very sometimes they are very good to put you down, yeah, because
Yes.
they don't have what you have. So it's very easy to sit family dinner or with friends. I say, well,
Oh,
she inherited this money. I had to work for my one, but she's the lucky one. Blah blah blah. So sometimes,
oh God, my whole life is filled with that.
yeah. So, but then Susan, here's the thing, right? Because it's happened to me. Everyone that is successful, you have that other way. Look, this is the thing. If you're not successful, this is sometimes the price that you pay for being successful. Yeah. However, you choose. You have a choice to design your life and your business around people that appreciate for who you are. Yeah, and people that love you for who you are. So in the same way, I'm in the stage of my life that I don't need to prove anything to anybody, right? So I only spend my time with people that I like you,
For
we
you.
with people that they are positive. Yeah, I travel a lot with my girlfriend. We travel all over the world. We speak in stages internationally to help people how to about the topics how to grow the business because this is something that we love to do and
Mhm.
but we go on holiday at the same time, right? So the whole thing is that you removing toxic people from your life uh, is gonna and I understand sometimes it's impossible because they're inside your family and you choose friends but
Right.
you choose your family. But there is a work that we all, including me, have done a lot of work on ourselves. Yeah. Um, what it really we make it mean because if we allow people on ourselves to get you, yeah, this is when the when everything it becomes really really difficult, right? However,
Can I, can I,
yeah, go ahead,
can
go
I,
ahead.
so I think that's great. And yes, they can be in your family. I've got a couple of them. And I can't
Everybody
really.
has it.
So I have four pillars of my business. This is kind of happens post writing the book. One, especially for women, take personal responsibility. And that does not mean taking too much, ladies. That does not mean saying, "Oh, it's all my fault" in either your business or your personal life. I love the intersection of love and money, so it could be business and whatever. Secondly, is set appropriate boundaries, and I have learned a very specific way. This is how I coach. If it is not a hell yeah, it's a no. So that goes back to listening to your intuition around how to invest. If it doesn't feel right, do not do it. Do not do business with friends. Number three, number two is setting boundaries. Number three is what you just addressed, which I think is super important, which is not taking things personally, because they are everybody. I guarantee you, I had some man come up to me when I first moved to Aspen. I didn't know anyone. I was at a party somehow. I don't remember who. And he's like, "Well, you have $40 million in the bank." And I was like, "Well, how do you know that? I've just
Absolutely.
really introduced myself." He's like, "Well, everybody knows." Now, Harry, I'd really like to tell you back then I had $40 million in my bank account. I'd like to tell you right now I have $40 million. But the fact is that everybody has judgments, and they often try to put you down. And you know what? This could also go into, if you're very smart, they'll go, "Well, he's so lucky because he's smart. Well, he's lucky because he did this." And it's challenging to keep your chin up and keep moving forward and keep aligning yourself with scale. Go back to scale. That your business, you don't have to do it all at once,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And you
And
can change your mind about what you're doing. You said real estate. This isn't making me happy. I'm gonna
yeah,
go do something else.
absolutely. Yeah. And it's a process that we all been there. And I think that to find ourselves, yeah, um, it's a process that is not easy. Like, for example, sometimes I wonder if I lost 10 years of my life. I never will find out because I built this real estate business because I want to make money. I want to become a millionaire and I want to have money, right? And then I'm 10, 12 years, 15 years building this business. And and after all is done, and after actually my managers told me from my office, "Harry, go home. We don't need you in this company anymore. We can run this without you." So it was literally running on autopilot. I make myself obsolete in my own company.
That's great.
And then I'm at home and I'm empty. Yeah. And it's a position, that people will say, "Okay, I go and travel the world and everything." And that's the other thing, Suzanne, that I want to share with you, right? Which is very important. Nobody talks about. Everybody talks about how to deal with failure, right? But nobody talks about how to deal with success. And it's really, really difficult. Yeah. In the same way that you feel that you won the lottery, that I can tell you you haven't. You receive an inheritance for your parents that worked really, really hard and give it to you because you deserve it for who you are, right? And they decided to do that because they are your parents, but they're also entrepreneurs, and they know that if they give it to you, you're not gonna waste it. Yeah, so it's not a lottery; it's a conscious decision of an entrepreneur that happen to be your parents, right? But some that aside, and this is true story happened to me, right? Literally my team sent me home, and I'm here at home with all this money coming every month, and I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, my head is spinning around. This is something wrong. I wake up like before I was busy with the business. Now I'm waking up, and all what I do is be in a black room watching movies all the time. I love movies, and my head spinning all the time. Like this is something wrong. How come all this money is coming to me without working, without anything? And then my head goes on and on and on and on and on. Guess what happened? One day I opened the door I go to Brick Lane in London. I open a restaurant, put a Harry Spanish tap, and I lost 200,000. Also, my other businesses also collapsed because of that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
deal with success. If you don't work on yourself and you don't embrace that you deserve it and it's for you, you will self sabotage, right? And in a blink, all can be gone, right? So it's important that we talk about this subject because I think you're great. I think you're amazing. You make all this money and you haven't self sabotage yourself, which is something that happens to a lot of people. If I tell you a story to people from this very same podcast, I already interviewed over 500 millionaires. If I tell you a story from this podcast, people making millions, lose everything, end up in the couch of the mom, go back again, lose it again. So it's a lot of internal work going into this, and a lot of
I love to go.
so what would be your biggest so my question to you is, where do you find the strength to amplify the wealth that you inherited, but also to take always conscious decisions, regardless what your family or whatever criticizing you, to keep it, because it's more hard to keep it actually to make it.
Right. That's a good question because I have somebody very close in my family who really is. I think he has my best interest in mind, but he continually puts me down. And I don't really know what that's all about, but it has bothered me. And then I get very defensive. And I was just listening to Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He's dead, but his daughter, who's got to be in her 60s or 70s, made a new edition. What a brilliant book.
Absolutely. Wow. Is the favorite of my
Yeah. So I think that it's important to, as you say, to always work on yourself, to recognize, just as an aside, I gave a lot of money to boyfriends, thinking I was trying to equalize. Now, there would be no equalization unless I gave them half, and I wasn't willing to do that. But
you don't have to.
yeah, the interesting thing for me is that each one of them has very special characteristics and they're smart, but the money washed through their fingers like this. They had it and it was gone because I think it's really important as an entrepreneur or human being to really believe that you can do it and that you're smart enough to do it. And I'm sure everybody here knows people that where the money just would wash their fingers, and then some people that somehow are able to make it and create it and build it and whatever. And what's the difference in that mindset? I think it's about for me, it's about being a very generous person and making really good decisions and looking out for the good of the whole and not just that thing that you started off talking about, how, money drove you to want to be successful. And in the end, you were like, okay, well, I got some money. I mean, it's great. You got food, water, shelter. That's good. You got nice clothes. I can get on a plane and fly where I want, but that's not necessarily the thing that's going to make me happy inside of my own skin.
100%. And then when it comes, with partnerships, I think that it's a journey that we have. For example, my girlfriend at the beginning, she was working for me. Yeah, she was.
What? Sorry.
She was working for me, my employees. It was my general, and she started in the company doing, have several business. So one was an English school, so she started my English school as a teacher, and then my managers were on holiday for the property side, so then she started the property. In the end, she scaled up and she became the general manager of my operations. But it went to the point of the relationship that I told her, look, you don't have to be an employee for me anymore. This is no. I can hire somebody else, so you can have your own business, so you can have your freedom, right? There is no need for me to have you here as, not because you don't want to, but if you want to do it, this is available for you.
How did she
Well,
receive that? I'm curious, how did she receive that?
well, she took it very well. She owns a book publishing company now, and and we work together.
That's
She has
great.
my 2 3 companies. I have my 2 3 companies. Um, we have resources from companies. Sometimes we share resources, and we help each other all the time. Yeah, so we are always busy. But for example, with the speaking, yes, you will have a terrible a fear upon speaking. Like, so I make a workshop speakers at least just to help it to become the fear of public speaking. The workshop becoming an international success. And I spoke at the same stage with Les Brown, Tony Robbins, you name it, and the biggest of the of this planet, right? But then I start to do this conference. I'm traveling a lot, and she said, I don't want to stay alone at home. I said, well, then you come with me. So she started to come with me. Then she started they give her a little bit of space to speak. She lost the fear. Now this goes to the point that they always said Harry and Lily. Yeah. They don't say Harry anymore. Yeah. My lifetime in Peru, it was a
Really?
empowerment conference. They say, okay, Lily 90 minutes, Harry 15 minutes. I'm like, what? I'm the famous here. So
Hey, I got a good plug for you. First off, do you know who Daryl Stinson is?
second,
Daryl Stinson, do you know who he is?
no, no, no.
Anyway, I think that that's brilliant, and everybody that needs any help in public speaking, or even if you don't, you should go to Harry's thing, Speakers Are Leaders, because you will learn so much about how to present yourself. Like, it's such a invaluable tool. The guy that I trained with, that's why I asked you if you knew who he was, is brilliant. Like, he's also known around the country, around the world for his skills. And I had no idea what I was getting into to, kind of develop that confidence that you get around speaking, around social media for your business. Like, sorry guys, but if you don't like social media, you kind of, if you want to stay current right now, you got to be an influencer in your field.
Tell me about it. It was not even Facebook when I was a teenager. Still, I don't even know my password of all the social media. What team developed this? And probably if you write me, my team would answer, right? Because we have 250,000 followers on all platforms. So, however, sometimes as entrepreneurs, right? If it's all about amplifying our message and the public speaking, I applaud you to take that challenge, because I reach over 1 million people online and over 10,000 people all over the stage and all over the world. And the public speaking thing is the biggest fear the human can have.
Yes, they do.
To put yourself to go for a training in public speaking, it will open for you something that you like you said, you didn't even know what you were getting into, because you're now in a framework where you have to overcome the biggest fear, your biggest fear, but it's not only yours, it's of everyone, it's all of us. And the simple reason why we have that fear is very simple. It's because when we're kids, our parents is telling us, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers. Talking to strangers is bad. So now imagine, now you go to a stage and you need to speak in front of thousands of strangers. Of course, it's a huge fear and that fear, Suzanne, is showing up everywhere. It's showing up in your relationship, showing up in your bank account, it's showing up everywhere. But it's not only to you, it's everybody, right?
Yeah. So I'm a blabbermouth. I can talk all day long, and I would start to prepare speeches.
I think you're doing amazing today.
Yes, well, because I've learned to just, for me, what fits after a year of doing this is just to get up there and speak.
Absolutely.
I made some quick notes, Harry, while we were talking about, because I have enough course knowledge to know what I'm doing, to say, all right, these are my 5 points. I didn't have 5 points prepared, and I didn't practice what I was going to say.
You did it on the spot.
Now I can do it on the spot. I was like, oh, no, I don't know what to say. It was ridiculous. It took me...
You know your stuff.
It took me 450 tries to make a 2-minute video for a TED Talk.
To me
400
also, how do you think,
minutes.
if I show you, if we show you our first shots on Lily's first video, my partner, oh my God, it was again like a minute and a half, and we stayed the whole evening, and today, today we do our social media recording in a professional studio in London. I'm the guy of the professional studio. I mean, they charge by the hour. So
You're like, hurry up.
yeah, I go there with Lily and we speak. I mean, if we book for 4 hours, for six, we sit there and we speak the whole 6 hours with no break. And the guy that operate the studio, they say, guys, in my years in this studio, and I've been years here working, I didn't never think anything like you guys, that you talk and talk and talk and you don't even rest. So I think that but this happened because we have done it a lot. So we do have training. Our workshop is 2 days in a row. So 6 hours is nothing for us, right? But it didn't start like that. And the other thing is that people, if we are in business, and this is how business is operating today, it's not Harry's fault, it's not Suzanne's fault, yeah? We have to, if we want our message to be heard, we have to work in what we call it our personal brand.
Yeah, of course.
Because otherwise we won't be able to help anybody. So I applaud you for you to create that web, especially. You know why? Because you have the credibility, right? And with your knowledge, you can help a lot of people, right? Because
Harry, the way to make friends, just tell them how great they are. So thank you so much. Can I share what my TED Talk speech is about?
absolutely.
Okay, this is just like, it's got a lot more to go in it, but I'm going to open up and say, hey, my name is Suzanne Leydecker, and I want to teach you about how inheritance of millions of dollars taught me about my self-worth. Then I go on to share that 1 out of every 8 Americans plays the lottery at least once per week, because collectively we think that more money is going to mean a better life. And I'm here to tell you that no matter how high your net worth goes, you will always default back to the level of your self-worth. It doesn't matter how much you have. And I know it looks really good and fantastic to, think that money is going to solve all the problems. But as I told you before, I ask all kinds of people, so what happens if you win the lottery? And I'm going to buy a boat, and then I'm going to put some money away for a house. And they have this whole plan. And financially, like when I inherited money, I had a lot of financial skills, but I didn't have the emotional skills to deal with it. So it was really easy for people to come at me and say, well, little girl, which my father called me, you don't have any skills in this area. Well, I actually did better than my siblings, and they were males.
Wow.
So,
wow. Well done.
Thank you. But I think that, it's such an important talk to make, and it's not specifically female oriented, because I think a lot of males also, I just want to win the lottery. And I was like, it's not going to help. I mean, it'll help with some things for sure. It's not going to help with everything. And I love it that you have such an amazing relationship with your girlfriend. Because it's very difficult to manage sometimes. That's why when I went to publish my book on Amazon, I was like, you have to pick out 2 categories. Have you written a book, Carrie?
Yes, several.
Okay. Did you publish it on Amazon?
Oh yeah.
But you know how you have
it's a book publishing company, so we do a lot of this Amazon.
Okay. But they make you pick out 2, like there's all these things in the books. So I'm like, great. I'm going to write, I got my category, love and money. It doesn't exist. There's a lot of people over here talking about love, and there's a lot of people over here talking about money. But there is not another person on the planet that is speaking about, has done a TED Talk with, has written a book about the intersection of the two.
And it's a great topic.
I find that very interesting, because
absolutely.
Our big time, money, and love are like that's what it is, and we have no conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
I find it to be very strange.
Yeah, and I think with the relationships, it's all about you know, supporting and giving the space, but sometimes we have to. Sometimes the person is not ready to take that role. So sometimes, like for example, when my girlfriend, she started to be, she was a great support for me when I was building my business. You know, it was my right hand, my general manager, and I'm very grateful for it, right? But at some point in the relationship, I thought that she has to find her own way without me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from that space, right? It doesn't matter if she makes little, a lot, or whatever. But I didn't. I give it their own space. So because sometimes on the stages, people would say, "Well, Harry's overpowering Lily," right? Well, let me tell you that doesn't work like this right now. You know, you put on the stage,
Get to the 90
she have
minutes.
become really, really powerful. I allow this framework, right? But again, when it comes to, it's like hiding for the company, right? You have to see if the values of the person align with the values of the company, right? And in the same way that sometimes we hire fast for the company, that we make a huge mistake, and then it's
Yeah.
very difficult to repair. It happens sometimes with relationships, yeah, because in the end of the day, until time pass and you see how this person react in tough times, because in good times everything is fine, but you know, when you have to take decision, or when somebody have to take responsibility, or somebody, you want to grow it X amount of money and you need help in certain area, and no, I cannot do it, I'm busy, but you know, to use it and to live the life, this is amazing, right? So little by little we find out the person that we align, and we be and actually we love you for who you are, right? Rather than for how much you have. And again, the fact that you become highly successful has overshadowed that, because imagine the conversation. This is a conversation in the neighborhood. Wow, you see, Suzanne, she make it, right. So is challenging. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's fulfillment, you know, and again, you are children, right? So they have the role model that, you know, they have very strong mom, very powerful mom, very successful mom, right? And but I think that everything that you have achieved, nobody give it to you. Yeah, it took hard work. Yeah, and you did pay the price for it, because let me tell you something: if you were not busy growing the money, yeah, you will have a lot of time to date, and eventually you will find someone that you know that marry you and love you, but because you take care of the money, you decided to grow it, which is actually is not even for you, because your kids are going.
Oh, I know. That's what somebody said. I was like, well, it's all for them. I mean, what do I?
It's not like you're gonna what do you need this money for? You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, is so you took a big sacrifice of your life for this, for your kids, and same like your parents did with you, right? But and sometimes success, you have to pay a price for it. Yeah.
You
So
do?
sometimes people come to me, and a lot of time, actually, every day. Harry, let's do this business together. We're gonna make millions. I'm like, well, you know, I rather don't have the millions and be able to don't put my alarm clock and go for a walk the park. Uh, you know what I mean? So I'm not willing to pay the price, because I know what it takes. Yeah, and I know what is involved. Um, so I'm just not willing to pay the price anymore for certain projects. If it's not a project that I enjoy, if it's not a project that is a contribution for society, yeah, I'd rather be here, you know, speaking with amazing people, and having and putting something out there, because that's the important thing. What you're doing, Suzanne, today, is that somebody can be listening this podcast. It could be anywhere in the world, and can be in your shoes, and can have this imposter syndrome. Oh, you know what? I inherited this, and look what happened. Yeah, and and you have to earn it, and they have to see your example, right? That how you embrace it and you own it, because at the end of the day, you did it, and you managed to grow it, and you didn't lose it, and you should be so proud of yourself and your family and everybody that you achieved that. Yeah. So
Anybody that wants to go to
absolutely.
order this, and it costs this. I love the hardcover because it's
Yeah.
30. The more that I can push this up in the Amazon scales, the more it's going to reach women that are taking things way too personally. And by the way, somebody asked me, why did you write a book for women? I say to all men, it's to help make your lives easier, because we sometimes, and I used to be this person, take things very personally, and then you guys, we don't say what we want. We're like, well, Harry, whatever you want to do, and then eventually we get mad at you because we're not doing what we want to do. So this is really a
So
book.
can you mention the title of the book and the subtitle for the people that listening in the car in Spotify?
Oh, it's called A Woman on Top, and you can go to my website at Suzanne Leydecker, which is Suzanne, no space, my last name LeyDecker.com, and reach out to me there. I know what my story is. And I've heard thousands. It took me 11 years, talk about the number 11 years to get this out.
Wow. That's
Because I basically was afraid of what everyone was going to.
absolutely. How many of you have yeah?
So if you have a book in you, do it. And I mean, this was a big, bold move for me too, because I was afraid of what my ex-husband, what the boyfriends were going to think, what everybody's going to say. And I wrote a really raw, vulnerable book. I talked about the time that I threw the chair across the room. Harry, not proud of it, but that's how far I got down the line in not asking for what I wanted and then blowing a fuse because I didn't get it. I know for fact, because people tell me, oops, I threw a chair too. So I'm trying to help the planet by helping women and men, but to really communicate. You did not mention communication, but my bet is your relationship's really good with your girlfriend because you communicate around what. Yes, so that makes a ton of difference in all and in your business too. You don't communicate.
Every single problem in life can be solved out of communication. Yeah.
Yes.
And the moment that we stop the effective communication, this is when relationships and partnerships and business and the employees, right? So we say that very easy, but it takes a while to figure out. And so, Suzanne, I want to. What is the last message then? Do you have for women entrepreneurs, for women that they are successful? We interview a lot of people in the corporate world that they are successful women making a lot of money, but they are not fulfilled, and they're afraid to make that jump and start their own business. So what message do you have for successful women that are scared to take a leap, in their life, and they are pretending that everything is okay, going to this corporate job, making a lot of money, working with people that they don't like. Some environments are even male dominated, and they are, one of my students for the Speakers at Least workshop, she's a Harvard graduate in finance, and they hired her in the company just to put her at the C-level, just to put, like she described, a lipstick in the C-level suite of the company, because they never took her seriously. And I told her why they're not taking seriously, and she was taking me, Harry, I don't know what else to do. I'm a Harvard graduate, so I have the same, probably more preparation that most of the people in the company. Still, I'm a woman, and they just hired me literally just to put the lipstick in the C-suite, but they will never take me seriously. They will never take my opinion, and my voice will never be heard in the company. So so there are a lot of challenges with women with funding, even worse, a very low percent of women in tech. This is a disaster, the how unbalanced is that, all the funding, most of the funding goes to men and to men projects in the startup world. So what message do you have for women that they are powerful, that they have something amazing within themselves, and they are just afraid to move to the next step because they feel that what people are gonna think about it, and sometimes they can have this wrong belief that they just not lucky and they just don't deserve and everything. So what message do you have for this woman?
Well, you're gonna probably laugh at this one too. I mean, I think all those things that things are changing. We do know that there are more breadwinning females that are, like making more than their male counterparts. And I remember asking my teenagers, like, what would that be like? And they're like, we're just gonna sit on the couch and play golf. And I'm like, well, that's probably not gonna work. But I think one of the biggest fears and why I wrote a book about the connection between love and money is because as females, I hear a lot of people, a lot of women going, oh, there's no good men on the planet. There's no good men on the planet. They're like little boys. They're not going to college anymore. We just don't need them. Let me tell you, ladies, we ain't going to the top without taking the other 50% of our population with us. So it might be our turn to, carry them in a way, not that we're better than, but, to stand up in our own abilities and our own rights. Certainly doing those things that I mentioned before, like finding your purpose and passion, believing in yourself, following your intuition, and, I'm not sitting on the board of trustees as one woman and 16 men to really speak about that, Harry. But I think that somebody said, Dale Carnegie was like, the way to be the most popular person in the room is to listen more. So I think as women, when we're in those kind of situations, we're trying to be heard more. That does not make you the smartest woman in the world. Like, listen, give people compliments. I told you that before. You were super nice. I'm like, oh my God, I love Harry. He's the greatest. It doesn't take much to encourage a good relationship with the people that you work for, even if 14 men. Does this make any sense to you?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that this channel, we are great supporters of women entrepreneurs, and I do a lot of events for women empowerment. Actually, in our workshop, yet speakers and leaders, most of the people that we train, they're actually women, right?
Women, yeah.
I think somehow we create a framework that they just come because they feel safe, that they feel that this is the space that they can express themselves, which something that makes us really, really happy. So sometimes it's about what kind of framework you create, and with the open mind, right? So we really believe that. Yeah, go ahead.
I can tell you why that's successful, because I've been running these mastermind dinners for women in Aspen Valley and beyond.
Oh, wow.
Bring people together as a community. So, women like to be with women because we want to create a tribe, and there's a lot going on for us, as there's been throughout history. But I think it's really important to remember men are out there. And I think that our primary fear of being successful is that no man will ever like us. That is not true for all women, but it tends to be a theme that I see. I've done so much research and talked to so many people all around the globe, and I tell you that they have slightly different problems in Africa and slightly different problems in Cuba, but it's all the same.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important to, yes, create your tribe of women so you can feel safe, but also to recognize that we are in this huge transition right now as a planet. And I have a feeling collectively, women, because I hear people say all the time, there's no good men left. Where are all the good men? I even say it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, don't do that. they're here, but they all seem to be married or taken, and we're like, how, like, can
Oh,
we
there
be?
are plenty around. There are plenty,
There
plenty.
are plenty, and so living
Just
into that mindset of you can be successful and have a healthy, satisfying relationship.
it's possible. It's
It's
possible.
possible,
It just Susan, to be in the right space with the right people, right? And with the right community. And I tell you, if I tell you stories from our workshops, with it and happen and will happen for you, will happen for you. You will see, it's so crazy things like we when we took our workshop speakers and leaders to Singapore, it was one guy, a British guy, that his name was Dan. Then he was telling me, Harry, I want to be the MC of you guys in Singapore. I want to be the MC. Take me with you. And the guy was in London, living in the United Kingdom. Take me with me. Take me with you. So instead, the guy, okay, just come with us. You want to so badly, come. You will be our MC. Even the plane didn't took off. Not my plane, not his plane. It was a problem in the airport. Next day, I jump into a plane with Lily, and I called him and said, listen, we're going anyway. And he said, I'm going also anyway. And guess what? He arrived there in Singapore. He met a lady, which is currently I stayed in Singapore. Lily and I, we come back. He actually stayed there. He didn't return. Now he went to Malaysia and got married. Now he had kids. Another woman, we took him. We were doing a speaking tour in Dubai. One of our speakers, yeah. And she was so good that Lily and I were invited to that event. But because she was so good, she got paid to attend this event. So he was going in the speaking tour with us. So going to our same hotel because she wanted to be close to me and Lily to practice the speech. That's why she chose the same hotel that will go close where we're gonna be, and they need to come to my hotel to check the speech. Guess what happened? She met someone in the hotel living in Dubai. Later I know the person is moving to London and now they're married. So
well, I want to not only for that, but I'm coming to one of your events for sure.
thank you. Thank you. We do a lot of galas. Yeah, we do galas with the in London luxury galas awards. Definitely we will let you know. So the whole point is be in the environment be on the space that people to appreciate you for who you are, right? And not for what you have, for who you are. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't realize, and we are in family environments, we are in communities that we are perceived as different, and but eventually I'm telling you that they are, and there are plenty. Yeah. However, this person has to be also do the work on yourself in the same way that you have done the work on yourself, right?
Yep.
And build yourself and know very clear who you are and what type of love and positive and success you bring to your life. The other person cannot be toxic. Yeah. So you have to do the work to be someone that is free, that doesn't need that doesn't feel overpowered. Yeah. So someone that don't have nothing to prove. You see. And there are plenty people like that. So thank you so much, Suzanne.
Yeah, well, let me just ask you one last question. So I go to speakersareLeaders.com and I can find you.
Yes. At the speakersandleaders.com, we have the thing, and the workshops that are in the speakersandleaders.co.uk. This is the workshop that we do.
I'm going to be there, Harry, and I'm going to let you know.
Thank you. That would be amazing. Thank you, Suzanne. So
thank you very much.
And for all of you in this podcast, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneurs like Suzanne break down wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.